Hey parents. You won't believe it, the kids were having a party in the Sleeping Beauty cave at night. Until they got the call, parents realized something was wrong and rushed to the cave entrance. Unfortunately, all they found were the kids' bikes. It was like they were trapped playing video games in the cave. The manager told them the cave was flooded, but one brave parent tried to venture in and found it was a total no-go. In an instant, every parent's face turned pale. The mayor got the news and the situation was as urgent as a scene from a movie. He swiftly called in the SEALs for a rescue mission, proving the mayor was really on edge. But who would have thought this was just the beginning of a no-win rainy day adventure? The SEALs dove 800 meters to Chamber 3 and casually set up a pulley system on the way. The mayor thought they could wrap this up in one night, putting everyone's hopes on the line. But when he arrived at the cave expecting good news, he got a team of wounded SEALs coming back. Even for special forces, this extreme environment was a whole new ball game. Underwater visibility was zero, and with swift currents and falling rocks, it felt like a real-life Braveheart. The next day, Thai authorities called in over 100 agencies. The international rescue request was like announcing a supermarket sale. Volunteers from around the world responded, but the trapped kids' situation felt like a plot twist in a suspense movie. The rescue team tried pumping out water, but no matter how powerful the pumps, it felt like using a spoon to drain the ocean. A savvy civil engineer arrived and said pumping water was a brainless plan. The water flowed in from the mountaintop, and those cracks were like death's scythe. They needed to divert all that mountain water away to lower the cave level. This was no child's play. After realizing this, villagers spontaneously joined the water diversion effort. It had been 5 days. The Thai government brought in top diving experts Rick and John like they were assembling a superhero team. With 30 years of diving experience, they were still left speechless by the underwater chaos. With jagged rocks and crazy currents, the dive turned into a nightmare. After a grueling 4 hours, they finally made it to their destination, ready to push forward. In the spacious area, they took a breather only to be surprised by a rockfall. The falling rocks flew into the water like bullets, almost pulling Rick and John in. Luckily, with their experience, they avoided disaster and decided to head back. On the way back, they found a volunteer struggling with a water pump. What a poor soul. Rick decided to help him back, because after all, they weren't far from Chamber 3. But an untrained person in such extreme conditions was totally out of their depth. The volunteer lost it completely, struggling instinctively, and Rick even lost his regulator. The volunteer hits his head too, but thankfully they were close to the cave entrance. A big gulp and he made it back. Swimming back with blood streaming down, this ordeal taught Rick a big lesson. Regardless of whether the kids were alive, even if they were, rescuing them was a pipe dream. A few kilometers in the cave meant struggling would lead to drowning, and parents waiting outside were already in despair. 5 days passed with no word from the kids. One parent approached the SEAL captain looking hopeless. He just hoped the government could bring back the kids' bodies intact. What a despairing request. A hopeless request left SEALs speechless, so the mayor quickly called a meeting. They searched 1,600 meters into the cave, but found no sign of the kids. They must be even deeper. But continuing the search would surely put the rescue team at risk. The mayor opted to wait for the rain to stop before diving again. By day 8, the floods still wouldn't let up. The mayor headed to the mountain and soon figured out how to tackle this. Pumping water just wasn't cutting it. To efficiently divert the water, they had to pay a price, and it wasn't cheap. The price meant diverting the rainwater to the fields on the other side of the mountain, basically cutting off their life to the villagers. This felt like an absurd decision, but somehow it brought them together. I can't make any guarantees, but I just want to give the kids a chance. After hearing this pledge, the villagers decided to sacrifice their fields for the kids' chance at survival. No more hesitation. They launched the drainage work, and by the 9th day, Rick and John finally saw a glimmer of hope. After 24 hours of pumping out water, on day 10, they geared up to explore further. After 4 hours of diving, they reached the junction again, ready to venture into the unknown. They passed through the blocked entrance and arrived at Pate Beach, which was still utterly deserted. Now their only thought was to find the kids' bodies. 10 days had passed, and even without dangers, they couldn't let their guard down.